Welcome guys! I'm recording this video in English just for practice. A long time I don't speak English, so I need to be more fluent. So if you are a native speaker, you will hear me really weird. Today we're gonna see this configuration. It's called RS biestable. Here is what is inside this box. Could be this one, or maybe you could come up with another configuration behaves the same. You could do it you could think this in a inverse way. Like when you do the truth tables for something transient, you think the inputs to the outputs, but if you think in the other way, you can do excitement tables, thinking what output you want, so what inputs you need. We're gonna do this. That is where you can find this other configuration of that order. The other way is by bulb. You can see this R or Q denied. By Morgan's theorem, you can separate that into a multiplication denied, and that becomes R denied times Q. So it really is an AND where the inputs are denied. We see one is denied and the other is not denied because one has a double denied, which is the Q denied, that becomes Q. So yeah, this is the input and denied it twice. Yeah, so we're gonna see how this circuit behaves to make an idea of how this responds. So for being easiest to extrapolate in another logics, to change interchangeably with positive and negative logic. So let's start. Q plus is gonna be our next state, studying the previous one. We're gonna start by putting Q into 1, and Q denied is a complement, so it's gonna be 0. Here we have 1, here we have 0, and by the first part of the truth table we have 0, 0. Here really is 1 and 1, which is 1, and here really is 0 and 1, which is 0. So okay, it's correct. You see, is what we had previous. So just Q. Next, what if now S is 0 and R is 1? So this stays the same. And is 0 and 1, which is 0. This changed to 0. And here now we have a 0, change to a 0. Now we have 0 and 0, both are denied, so that is 1 and 1, which is 1. We have another change. Now this 1 comes here, and we have two 1s denied, which is 0 and 0, 0. So 0, 1 and 1, 1. We got, and now the circuit gets established and is no more oscillating. So you see, when you put R to 1, Q goes to 0, or Q denied goes to 1, and when you put Z to 0, Q goes to 0. So here in this part, we could say Q responds to Z. For this example, we could not generalize it now. Let's continue studying the other possibilities. So Q responds to Z, and now Z is 0. Great. Next, now Z is 1. I'm gonna raise all. I'm gonna keep this. This stays the same. 1, 1, 0. Now Z is 1. Z is 1 and reset is 0. We have 1 and 1 with denied, which is 0 and 0, 0. Well, here is 1 and 1, the denied is 1. Now 1 and 1, which is 0 and 0 is 0. So again, Z responds to Q, and reset goes to Q denied. So now set is 1, so Q is going to be 1. Next one, set 1, reset 1. Okay, 1 denied and 0 denied, that is 0, and 1, that is 0. So here we have a change, comes to 0. Now this goes here, and well, from instant we have the same input. So let's see. 0 denied, 1 denied, which is 1 and 0, that is going to be 0. So here we have again a 0, and comes here a 0. We have any more change in the input, so we expect to have the same output, which is the same, which is okay, which is true because 0 and 1 is 0. And here we see an inconsistency. Here Q is the same as Q denied. We know that doesn't make sense, so it's an inconsistency. Okay, so here we see that when we put set to 1, here we see that Q responds to set and Q deny responds to R. So we could so for a positive input we have a positive, well, not positive. For positive logic we have positive output. Positive logic output. So this circuit has a response to an input positive logic and to an output positive logic. We can extrapolate this general circuit with all the possibilities of logic. Negative input logic to positive output logic, positive input logic, positive output logic, or negative output logic. In a way that we could see these other configurations. So here we see that here we see positive logic responds to a positive logic output. Now for a positive logic input we say that the same, but now we want an output that responds to a negative logic. So we could just deny the output, putting here a NOT gate. So now here is Q denied, and here we could put another NOT, so now it is Q. So just by denying this gate in a more fancy way, for a positive logic we have a negative logic response. Now for a negative logic input that responds to a positive output logic. So just by denying the input gate. We deny these ones. We deny, well, not deny again, just not denying, but denied is the same. So here we have positive output, which is the same to put it as initially we have. So we can jump into one logic to the other logic. Really is what our circuit needs. We have a lot of output turning, and we call turning with 0 to save energy. Estuardo put that in suspense. I think that there is another reason, but that is the only one came into my mind. Again, sorry for my English. A long time I don't speak. It's gonna be better the next videos. So thanks guys. Have a good night.